I want to bring in a key series that we've been having about the Divine Nine. You know, we've been talking about the midterm elections. I said it before, I'll say it again. They are 38 days away, and the stakes are high. The list of issues top of mind for voters right now range from everything from abortion to inflation to immigration to gun safety and quite literally the democracy of our country. The importance of voting cannot be stressed enough. So in this series that we are continuing with the conversations with the presidents of the Divine Nine, today we're talking to the general president of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Alpha Phi Alpha is the first intercollegiate Greek-lettered organization in the United States. They were founded in 1906 at Cornell University by 7 men known as the Seven Jewels. They recognize the need for support of Black men at Cornell who face both educational and social racism. With 745 active chapters worldwide and over 27,000 members, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is the largest predominantly Black fraternity in the country and one of the 10 largest fraternities overall. Civil service and community activism is at the core of the organization's focus. One of their national programs, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, was initiated by the Alphas in the 1930s when Black folks had the right to vote but were prevented from voting due to poll tax. They didn't have the right to vote and they were prevented from voting due to poll taxes, due to threats of retaliation, a lack of education about the voting process in general. People were trying to block the vote, but the Alphas stepped in and stepped up with a program. So I want to bring in Dr. Willis L. Lonser. He is the third general president of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. General President Lonser, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I am very excited to speak with you today. You know, you have members all over the country.
Yes.
You have almost 40 chapters in Florida. We just heard from Governor DeSantis. Are the Alphas mobilizing in response to Hurricane Ian?
Yes, we are. I talked with the district director, Dr. His name just went out of my head. But I talked to the district director this morning, and he assured me that the brothers are not only solid, and they are now able to assess what their resource access may be, and so that we can begin to mobilize and assist our communities. I know that in that opportunity, we are looking to as well in Georgia and South Carolina. I spoke to those as well, our directors for the states, to ensure that they are doing well. In fact, North Carolina, some power outages, some flooding, but our efforts will be to ensure that we can begin to extend our resources to the communities that we typically support. But we've been able to, fortunately, come out favorable despite the heavy damage. I know we have a chapter in Fort Myers, Florida, and they, as you know, experienced substantial damage there.
Yes, we just spoke with the state rep from Fort Myers.
Indeed, and so we will be trying to ensure that we can mobilize our points to go there. And the regional vice president, who is Attorney Cecil Howard, and I spoke, and he has assured me that our state representatives, called district directors, will keep me informed, as well as he, as in his role as the regional vice president, to ensure that we're going to be linked with our men and our families, but helping the communities that we mobilize, and we take care of them too. That's what we do. We advocate for our community.
We will be praying for everyone affected, not just in Florida, but the Carolinas and Virginia as well. We talk a lot about the fact that voting rights are under attack nationwide.
Yes.
Dozens of states have enacted restricted voting laws. Like I know I don't need to tell you. We mentioned your national program, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People.
Yes.
How are you, what are the practical implications of this program in this particular election where it is challenging, to say the least, across the country?
Absolutely. We realize that we have a bully pulpit through the Voteless People is a Hopeless People campaign. The intent is to ensure that we are empowering our members to go out and have specific conversations with people in the community about what's at stake in this election, the things they see on television, the things that are coming out of Washington, D.C., and how they impact them directly. We're concerned now that this devastating hurricane has leveraged Florida. How will we ensure that there will be appropriate elections conducted there, despite some of the challenges that they're having logistically there in Florida? So we are going to put our bully pulpit to work. We have been talking with individuals through our door-to-door campaigns that we do, but we've been holding town halls. We've been using webinars and using the social media to mobilize our voice and to remind people of what's at stake. And although we are a fraternity of men, we recognize that reproductive rights are on the table.
I was going to ask you about it. I know I have about 20 seconds left.
I'm so sorry.
What are you doing to mobilize very quickly on the issue of reproductive rights?
Well, we're making sure that as men, we are very aware of what those stakes are. We have to make sure that we understand that it's a vested interest not only for Black people, but brown people, but for all people. We are mobilizing also with the Divine Nine. My fellow counterparts in the Council of Presidents, and I have the honor of serving as the vice chair of that. Our chair is Grand Basilisk Rashida Liberty of Sigma Gamma Rho sorority. But we have been talking about how we can have, if you will, an overlapping approach to ensure that the vocal component of our voices as fraternities and sororities is leveraged to ensure that our community, but really the world, is aware that we won't stand for this issue to just be swept under the rug.
That is absolutely right. Dr. Willis Lonser III, you're not the third general president, but you are the third. You are the 36th general president of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and a good connecting link. Shout out to your wife, my good link sister.
Please.
Thank you for being here, and thank you all for the work you're doing. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.